Hey, have you ever heard of the Oneida Community? It's this fascinating and really controversial utopian society from the 19th century.
I think I've heard the name, but I don't know much about it. What's their story?
So, it was founded by this charismatic guy, John Humphrey Noyes. He believed that humans could achieve a state of sinless perfection
Wait, really?
right here on Earth. Yeah, and in 1848, he and his followers set up this community in Oneida, New York, aiming to create a kind of heaven on Earth.
Sinless perfection? That's quite a claim. How did they plan to achieve that?
Well, they rejected traditional marriage and practiced something called complex marriage. Basically, every adult was married to every other adult of the opposite sex.
Wait, so no exclusive relationships at all? That's pretty radical, especially for the 1800s.
Exactly. They thought that exclusive relationships led to jealousy and selfishness, sins that they wanted to eliminate. So by sharing everything, including relationships, they aimed to purify themselves spiritually.
That's a lot to take in. How did they manage the practical side of this? I mean, emotions can be messy.
Totally. They had strict rules, and the community had to approve all relationships. Plus, they practiced male continence to avoid unwanted pregnancies.
Male continence? What's that exactly?
So, it's kinda delicate, but basically, men were expected to avoid ejaculation during intercourse. It was seen as a form of self-control and spiritual discipline. It was their method of birth control and a way to focus on higher ideals.
That sounds challenging, to say the least.
You can imagine. And as if that wasn't enough, they also practiced stirpiculture, which was their version of eugenics.
Eugenics? Seriously?
Yep, they tried to selectively breed members to create a superior generation. Noyes himself often decided who could have children with whom.
That's unsettling.
It's one of the most controversial aspects of their community.
Definitely raises some ethical red flags. Were there any positives in their society?
Well, they promoted gender equality to some extent. Women had more say in relationships and could even wear trousers.
Ha!
In Victorian times, that was a big deal.
Wow, trailblazers in fashion too. So did they live communally?
Absolutely. They shared everything, property, housing, finances, and divided work equally. They believed that communal living would eliminate personal selfishness.
And economically, how did they sustain themselves?
They were actually quite successful. They made and sold steel animal traps, silk goods, and later on, they started producing silverware. The Oneida silverware brand became hugely popular.
Wait a minute. The Oneida silverware we know today comes from them?
Exactly.
No
the
way.
company outlived the community by far. After the community dissolved, they formed Oneida Limited, which became a leading silverware manufacturer.
That's incredible. So what led to their decline?
Well, several factors. Internally, younger members started yearning for traditional marriages. Externally, their unconventional practices drew public outrage. And then, in 1879, Noyes fled to Canada to avoid legal prosecution.
Legal prosecution? For what?
Mostly due to their sexual practices. Authorities accused them of statutory rape and other charges because some participants were minors.
Stuff.
Without Noyes, the community couldn't sustain itself.
Makes sense. Leadership is crucial in such movements.
Exactly. By 1881, they officially disbanded. Many members shifted focus entirely to the silverware business, leaving the religious and social experiments behind.
It's kind of ironic that their capitalist venture outlasted their socialist ideals.
Yeah, it's like capitalism had the last laugh.
Right.
Their legacy is a mix of progressive ideas and problematic practices.
So, on one hand, they challenged norms and pushed for gender equality, but on the other hand, they controlled people's personal lives in pretty invasive ways.
Exactly, it's a real paradox. They were ahead of their time in some respects, but deeply flawed in others.
It's a reminder that utopian ideals can sometimes lead to dystopian realities.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks.
Their story prompts us to think critically about how we approach social change.
Absolutely. So, do you think any of their ideas have influenced modern society?
Well, concepts like communal living and questioning traditional marriage structures have definitely re-emerged over time.
Yeah.
But hopefully without the more problematic aspects like eugenics.
Let's hope so. It's fascinating how history repeats itself in different forms.
For sure, studying movements like the Oneida Community helps us understand the complexities of social experiments.
And maybe learn from their mistakes?
Exactly. It's like that saying, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it.
George Santayana, right?
Yep, history nerd alert.
Guilty
Anyway,
as
it's been
charged.
great diving into this topic with you.
Likewise, thanks for shedding light on the Oneida Community. It was enlightening and a bit mind-blowing.
Anytime. Maybe next time we'll tackle another utopian experiment. Plenty more where that came from.
Can't wait. Talk soon.